Speak into that business, speak into that career, speak into your family, speak positively to yourself. Don't just talk to yourself. You see, when you experience certain failures, like, oh, how was I so stupid? How come I didn't see that I was making the wrong decision? How come I allowed this guy to take advantage of me? How did I allow this girl to break my heart? Don't just say negative things to yourself. Say positive things to yourself. I can do this. I believe I can do this. I can achieve this. I can get this done. Right? Say positive things to yourself. Hi, this is Akintola Samuel, and you're welcome to another episode of The Breakthrough Factory. So today I want to talk to you on how to build your self-confidence. One of the things I've come to realize is that everybody wants to succeed. I've never met someone, right, in so many years, right, that when you ask the person, do you want to succeed, and the person tells you, no, I don't want to have anything to do with success. Everybody wants to succeed. Everybody wants to do well in life, in their business, and their career, financially. But one of the things I've come to realize that holds many people back from the fulfillment of their dreams of becoming successful, right, are not even the external factors. Oftentimes it's not the government, it's not, the lack of a good background or upbringing or lack of a better education. Those are not the things that hold people back. Oftentimes, what holds people back from the fulfillment of their dreams, right, of their goals of becoming successful in life is usually internal. You see, you cannot succeed beyond your level of self-confidence. For you to become successful at anything, you must be willing to take risks. And you see, your level of risk taking, the level at which you take risks, is largely dependent on your level of belief in yourself. Many people never take the steps required for them to achieve their dreams and their goals simply because on the inside of themselves, they have just come to believe or accept that if I take this step, you see, it's just going to be a waste of time. It might not work out. They say things like, what if it doesn't work out? What if I fail? What if I do that? There's a lot of what ifs. And you say, sometimes people think these are just internal dialogues when they say, what if it doesn't work out? What if I fail? What if, they just say all those things. What if I fail? What if it doesn't work out? But oftentimes when you hear people say these things, right, or when you are saying these things to yourself, is usually a reflection of a lack of self-confidence, right? And you need to understand that whether you believe you can or you believe you can't, you are right either ways. If you believe you can or you believe you can't, you are right either ways. You see, your lack of belief in yourself is eventually going to become a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you believe also in yourself and in your ability to succeed, it's also going to become a self-fulfilling prophecy. So I've come to realize that if you are going to achieve your goals and dreams in life and in the marketplace, if you are going to turn out successful, if you are going to experience success in anything that you set out to do, you must work on your self-confidence. You must believe in yourself. You must believe in your potentials. You must believe in your own ability to achieve those goals and dreams. It's not just enough to set goals. It's not just enough to have strong desires. You must believe that on the inside of yourself, you have what it takes to achieve those things that you have set out to do. One of the reasons why a lot of people lack self-confidence is what they refer to as humility, which is not really humility. For many people, they think humility is thinking less of themselves. Rather, you need to understand that humility is thinking of yourself less, not thinking less of yourself, right? Many people, when they think of their abilities, their potentials, they just look at themselves and say, this kind of things, they are not meant for people like us. They think of a part of town, they say, it's not people like me that live in this side of town. They look at certain cars, they say, it's not people like me that drive this kind of cars. They look at certain positions in their industry, they say, the first top 3 positions, top 10 people in my industry, right, is not meant for people like me. Unconsciously, they sabotage themselves. Why? Because they lack self-confidence. So how do you build your self-confidence? How do you improve your self-confidence? Number one, you need to constantly remind yourself and acknowledge your past achievements. I'm going to say that again. To build your self-confidence, you need to constantly remind yourself of your past achievements. You see, the human mind, the way it works, oftentimes is that it tilts towards the negative. When most people are thinking about their past, they think of their negative past. They think of the divorce, they think of their heartbreaks, they think of the business failure, they think of the time they made the wrong investment, they think of the time they got their hearts broken, right? They think of the times they make the wrong decisions, right? But you see, instead of allowing your mind to tilt towards the negative, why don't you consciously program yourself, right, to start thinking more of the positive? What are those things you have achieved in the past? When you ask the average person, right, what are the positive things, your positive achievement, what are your achievements in the past? They say, you know what, I've not achieved anything. But guess what? Everybody has achieved something. It's just because you would always find the things you are looking for. So if your attention has been on the negative side of life, right, you would not pay attention to the positive things that's been happening in your life. You see, when you pass that exam, that was an achievement, right? It was a positive happening. When you passed that exam, when she said yes to you, when you proposed and you got a yes, right, as a guy, when you got married, right, when that guy proposed to you, it simply means you are worthy enough to receive somebody's love as a woman. That's an achievement, right? When you move from one level, right, maybe you're in the higher institution, and you move from one level to the other, 100 level to 200 level, that's a form of achievement. When you graduated, that's an achievement, right? When you check the scoreboard and you notice you had, you didn't have any carryover, or maybe you had one and you passed the other courses, right? That's an achievement, right? Instead of allowing your mind to focus on the negative past, consciously program your mind, right, to start thinking more of your achievements, right, the positive past. And there is no one, you see, I've come to realize that, I realized this a couple of years ago, that everything cannot go bad in your life at the same time. Everything, God is so faithful that He will not allow everything in your life to go down and go bad at the same time. So no matter how bad your past may have been, no matter how bad your present is, there is still something positive happening in your life, if only you will take out time to search for those things, right, and begin to acknowledge it, right? So remind yourself of the positive past and consistently acknowledge, right, the achievements that you have experienced. Number 2 step to building your self-confidence, right, is write down 101 goals, right, or bucket list. I call it bucket list goals, right, and seek them as you accomplish those goals. What do I mean by that? I strongly believe everyone should have a list of 101 goals they want to achieve in their lifetime, right? This is an exercise you must never take for granted. Don't take this exercise for granted. You see, I've taught this for years and it's been phenomenal. It's life transforming. I've practiced this. You see, how do you do that? Write down 101 things. You see, it's usually very easy. Well, by the time you start from number 1, getting to number 20, but by the time you start getting to 30, you start getting connected to your true self and your true desires. Now you would have to force yourself to start thinking, right? You write down the things you want to do in your lifetime in the next 50 years, right? 50 years is a long time. You see, and it takes faith to actually write your goals. It takes faith to plan, because many people are not even thinking they are going to live for that long. So even if it's not 50, why don't you write for 10 years or 20 years? What are the 101 things you want to achieve in the next 10, 20, 30 years? Write it down. Don't just think it, ink it, right? Don't just think it, ink it. Write it down. Right? Nothing has a right to exist on the earth until it has made contact with the realm of the physical. When that desire is still in the realm of thought, guess what? It has not been written. So it's very difficult for it to be achieved. But the moment you write that desire down in form of goals, you see, what happens is you increase your chances, right, of experiencing that thing and it becoming a reality in your life. So write down the things you want to do in your lifetime or in the next 10 to or 20 to 30 years. Write down the places you want to go. Write down the things you want to acquire. Can you see now? Where do you want to go? Where do you want to visit? Write down, you see, and let it encompass everything about yourself. You see, it doesn't have to be something very big. It can be as simple as, I want to learn how to swim, I want to skydive, scuba dive, I want to see the pyramids of Egypt, I want to, I want to visit Dubai, I want to go to Tanzania, I want to, see the UN building in New York, I want to visit Buckingham Palace, as simple as those things. Just write it down. You see, your responsibility in the immediate is not figuring out how those things will happen. just write it. Just write it. Just write it. I want to get my own accommodation. Is it a mini flat? Is it a 2-bedroom flat? Right? Is it a 3-bedroom flat? I want to buy a property. I want to change my car, but at so time in my life. Write down those things. I want to get married. I want to be engaged at this time of my life. I want to graduate. I want to go for my youth service. You see, by the time you write all those things, you see, it might even seem as if you've just written maybe 60 or 70, but you know what? Push yourself to 101. And this is what is going to happen. You can write it in a book, write it on your tablet, on your phone, or a place where you can always have access to it. As you start achieving those things, start ticking those things up, start crossing them out. Something is going to happen to you the moment you see that you have been achieving some of it. It might even be something as simple as, I want to change my phone, right? I want to buy maybe an iPhone. I want to buy a MacBook. You say the moment you achieve one of those goals, something on the inside of you tells you that if I can do this, I can do the others, right? So it doesn't have to be massive things like I want to buy a Mercedes Benz. No. That might be part of your goals, but everything shouldn't be massive big goals, right? It can be as simple as I want to get admission into the university. I want to pass my professional course. I want to have a baby in the next 2 years. As simple, just write. It doesn't have to be massive things like I want to make $100 million. It doesn't have to be that massive. It can be as simple, right, as I want to have 2 quality friends before the end of the year. And as those things begin to happen, tick it off. It can even be as simple as I want to have 5,000 followers on Instagram. I want to have 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. As you achieve those little ones, or anything you achieve, start crossing it off the list, and it's going to build your confidence and esteem for achieving the other goals. Number 3 step to building your self-esteem, right, and your self-confidence is quit saying I can't. Quit saying I can't. Quit saying I can't. It is better to say I won't or I will instead of saying I can't, because when you say you can't, you are talking about your potentials, you are talking about your ability, you are simply saying you don't have what it takes to achieve that which you are supposed to achieve. You are simply saying you cannot do, you don't have the ability, you don't have what it takes to do what you desire to do, right? So remove the word I can't from your vocabulary, right? Anytime you don't want to do something, don't say I can, just say I won't, right? That talks about choice. When you say I won't, it simply means you have the potentials, you have the ability, but guess what? I choose not to do this thing, right? So remove the word I can't out of your vocabulary. Number 4, right, is learn to take calculated risks. Take calculated risks. Now, you need to understand something. When I talk about risk taking, I'm not referring to, that's why I said take calculated risks. I'm not saying you should be stupid. I'm not saying you should be foolish. I'm not saying you should make decisions that will literally wreck your life, your finances, and your destiny, or the life of your family. I'm saying calculated risks. That is, go out of your comfort zone. Consistently take calculated risks, because what are those things that deep within yourself you can do, but fear has held you back? That's what we're talking about, right? Maybe there is a business you're supposed to start and you are scared to death, like, oh, what if I start this business, right? And you already have a job. How to take a calculated risk is, start it as a side business before, resigning from your job. The moment that business begins to work, there is a measure, your self-confidence is going to increase. Like, oh, so I can even do this thing as a side job. I can make this work and still make my day job work. You see, take calculated risks in every area of your life. The more you take risks, the more your self-confidence increases. Do the things you have never done before. Go to the places you've never gone before. Meet the people you have never met before. Introduce yourself to someone that you have been afraid of introducing yourself to, right? Talk to someone that is beyond the environment you have been used to. Some people never make friends outside of their tribe. Some people don't relate with people outside of their industry. Take those risks. What is that thing that you've always wanted to do and you've been afraid of doing, right? Take risks. Take risks. Take risks. When you take calculated risks, it builds your self-esteem, it builds your self-confidence. Number 5 step you need to take to build your self-confidence is imagine your future in the perfect way possible. Practice visualization. Practice visualization. You see, this is not a religious mumbo jumbo, crap nonsense practice, right? God said to Abraham, as far as your eyes can see, so will I give to you. Sometimes just close your eyes and just imagine, if my life was perfect, in the next 5 years, what would my life look like? What would it look like financially? Who will I be with? What will I be driving? Where will I be living? Right? What job will I be doing? Just sit down, close your eyes, be in a relaxed state, and just imagine the future. You see, when you begin to imagine these things, in spite of your current states, in spite of your current achievement, something tells you that if I can see it, I can seize it. If I can imagine it, it can become real in my life. But you see, this thing is not going to happen without discipline. Because if you've not been used to this practice, the moment you close your eyes and you sit down, a lot of thoughts are going to come to your mind. What nonsense is this? What are you doing? Does this make sense? You're just sitting down. You're just imagining. Is that what is going to pay your bills? A lot of thoughts are going to come to your mind if you've not been used to this practice. But visualization builds your self-confidence. It builds your self-confidence. Close your eyes. Imagine the future as if it were perfect. Who are you with? What are you doing? What kind of job are you doing? What time do you wake up? Where is work? Who are you working with? Right? When you imagine these things, right, there's a way it releases some chemicals in your body that makes you believe that I can do this. If I can see it, then I can seize it. And last but not the least, number 6 is learn to speak positively to yourself. Learn to speak positively to yourself. There is nobody that spends time with you like you do with yourself. There is nobody that talks with you and to you like you do with yourself. What's your internal dialogue like? Do you tell yourself how stupid you are? Or do you tell yourself how beautiful you are? Do you tell yourself how good you are? Or how incompetent you are? Right? Speak positively about yourself, to yourself. Speak positively to yourself about your abilities, about your future, about your potential. Sometimes just stand in front of the mirror and just call out yourself and just say, Haki, I know you are a great man. I know you are going far. I know there is greatness in your future. I believe in you. You see, when you start doing these things, it's going to look uncomfortable. You are going to feel uncomfortable, right? Because it's not a practice you've been used to, but learn to do this. Stand in front of the mirror, look into your own eyes, and speak to yourself. Prophesy into your own life. What does it mean to prophesy? To speak forth the future, right? Don't wait for people to prophesy to you or over you without you doing it into your own life. Speak concerning your business. Speak into that business. Speak into that career. Speak into your family. Speak positively to yourself. Don't just talk to yourself about, you see, when you experience certain failures, like, oh, how was I so stupid? How come I didn't see that I was making the wrong decision? How come I allowed this guy to take advantage of me? How did I allow this girl to break my heart? Don't just say negative things to yourself. Say positive things to yourself. I can do this. I believe I can do this. I can achieve this. I can get this done. Right? Say positive things to yourself. And you see, when you practice these 6 things and you do these things consistently, when you imagine the future, when you speak positively to yourself, right? When you set worthy goals, inspiring goals, right? And you begin to tick it off as you begin to accomplish these things. One of the things you'll realize that will begin to happen unconsciously is one day you just realize that you are not the person you used to be. Now you are more confident, you are bolder, right? You know, scripture says in Proverbs 28 and verse 1, it says the righteous are as bold as a lion, right? Timidity is not synonymous to spirituality. Spirituality and timidity, they are not the same things. You've got to be confident, you've got to be bold. So practice these things, and when you do, your self-confidence is going to be on the rise. I believe you've enjoyed this episode. I believe it's been worth it. So invite someone to be a part of this. This video drops on this channel every day, right? So be on the lookout for the video tomorrow. And I believe this was value adding. Remember to subscribe, turn on notification, and click on that thumbs up icon, right? I believe if you do that, or when you do that, I believe when you do that, according to YouTube's algorithm, it will enable more people to see it, right? Subscribe, right? Don't subscribe. If you do subscribe, it means you subscribe, unsubscribe. Subscribe, just click it once, click on that bell icon, right? That simply means every time a video drops, you're going to get notified. And also click. And do you have any thoughts, or you have, you know, another idea on how to build your self-esteem? Let me know in the comments below, right? Let me know in the comment below. Let me know what you think, right? So enjoy the rest of your day. See you tomorrow in the next video.